Heroin deaths continue to plague our state, with a surge in the number of overdoses.
Cronkite News reporter Erica Lang speaks with those personally impacted by heroin's hold.
Gregory Hess has been the chief medical examiner in Pima County for almost 5 years, a county where nearly 100 people died of heroin overdoses last year.
We had 93 deaths attributed to heroin in 2015, and that's definitely an increase over previous years.
According to Hess, heroin was the #1 drug for single drug overdoses last year.
Certainly it's not going to stop. It will continue to happen, but hopefully some of this information can influence decreasing certain kinds of deaths.
Dara Lawson of Phoenix lost 3 of her friends to heroin overdoses over a 2-month period. A recovering addict herself and now the mother of 2 children. Lawson uses the memory of her friends as motivation to stay sober.
I do remember all of those people who I've lost whenever I do get the urge, and I think I don't want to be that person. I don't, for my parents' sake, for my kids' sake, for my sake, because I live a beautiful life.
But it's a life that still poses challenges.
After one of my son's surgeries, they had given him a bottle of liquid opiates, and I looked at that for a second and I'm like, nope, and that was it.
The DEA says as many as 80 to 90% of all heroin users begin their addiction with prescription drugs, something we first reported last year in Hooked, tracking heroin's hold on Arizona.
Prescription drug addiction permeates every demographic. There is no boundary, there is no label, there is no stereotype. And because there is no stereotype for prescription drug abuse, there is consequently no stereotype for heroin drug abuse.
It happens in great neighborhoods. I grew up in an awesome area, a great school. I went to church 3 times a week, and it hit my brother and I right then and there.
Neighborhoods like Sahuarita, a town south of Tucson. Terry Bernier's oldest son was introduced to pain pills after a skateboarding accident 8 years ago, and heroin hooked him shortly after.
Over time you find, spoons and foil, and, then you start researching and looking. I think the first program he went to was up in Phoenix, and he asked for help. He came to me, he said, I really need help.
About a year and a half ago, Bernier started a local branch of the program, Celebrate Recovery, after feeling there was a lack of support from schools for those impacted by heroin in her community.
Same with the police, the churches that I've tried to get involved. A lot of them just don't understand drug addiction, and unfortunately until it hits your family, you don't even really maybe notice it.
It starts in the home, it starts in our communities, and we as a community, as parents, as educators, can make the difference, and we really should. Otherwise, we got to do this before it's too late.
Lawson understands the dangers of relapsing and knows her friend's story could too easily be her own.
That could have been my moment of death if I had gone and relapsed at that time, but because somebody else was there and we talked it out, I'm sober right now, So just staying close to people and just grabbing a hold of that safety net is always just so important.
Friends, family, and the memories of those she has lost help Lawson to continue moving forward. In Phoenix, Erica Lang, Cronkite News.